John Boyega, who's famous for his role in the Disney Star Wars franchise, has become a bit of a race hustler since the franchise ended. This article from a few years ago, I'm the only cast member whose experience of Star Wars was based on their race. I guess that's just how he feels. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way. And let's not forget this gem right here. I really effing hate racist, to which this person responded, "Nobody loves racists. I'm from Nigeria. My ex said she hates white people, so I broke up with her. I'm talking about white on black racism." I just love that one. I find that one hilarious. But anyway, I'm bringing this up because apparently he's wanting more attention right now because he's in the news again. This time, surprise, surprise, complaining about racist stuff. This time, though, he's attacking Star Wars fans in this article that's being reported on by Variety with the headline, "John Boyega says Star Wars is so white that a black person existing in it is a big deal. Toxic fans are okay with us playing the friend, but we can't touch their heroes." Now, for anyone who's an actual Star Wars fan, this comes across as being pretty out of touch because if I recall, most people are actually in favor of his character. In fact, a lot of the criticism, I know I personally said that one of the biggest problems with the sequel trilogy is I think it would have been a lot better off if Finn was the lead character and was the one who became a Jedi. In the marketing for The Force Awakens, that's kind of what they're implying. I mean, even if you look at the poster for the original movie, he was on it holding a lightsaber. It looked like that's kind of what they were setting up, where he started off as just a stormtrooper, then he becomes a powerful Jedi. I think that's kind of an interesting arc, but instead it was kind of a bait and switch where they wanted to have Daisy Ridley's character Rey become the Jedi, and he just kind of got pushed into the background in the following two movies. And obviously, he's upset about that, but I think his anger towards what he calls toxic Star Wars fans is kind of misplaced, and that it should be directed more at the studio who decided to sideline him because Kathleen Kennedy wanted to have a girl boss trilogy. John Boyega called out Star Wars for being so white during an interview as part of the new Apple TV Plus original documentary, #1 on the call sheet, Black Leading Men in Hollywood, via Entertainment Weekly. Boyega debuted as Finn in the Star Wars The Force Awakens and reprised a character in The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. His role in the sequel trilogy led to online harassment from racist and toxic Star Wars fans upset with the black actor playing a lead hero in the space franchise. Now I'm going to put a pause on there and say, I'm not going to say that stuff never happened, but that's just the internet. I mean, I get racist and sexist attacks all the time online. I mean, that's just the way things go. So, I mean, the only difference is I'm not saying I'm getting those attacks because I'm a white person, even though people are making racist remarks towards me. Obviously, it's not going to be to the same scale as him since he's a lot more prominent than I will ever be. But still, the fact is he's trying to take probably these exceptional cases and conflate it to being like, this is the majority of people out there. And as I previously said, I think the majority of people out there actually wanted him to have more of a prominent role in the movie than what Disney was willing to give him. Let me tell you, Star Wars always had the vibe of being in the most whitest elite space. It's a franchise that's so white that a black person existing in it was something Boyega said in the documentary. You can always tell it's something when some Star Wars fans try to say, well, we had Lando Calrissian and had Samuel L. Jackson. They also had Darth Vader too, I guess. It's like telling me how many cookie chips are in the cookie dough. It's like they just scatter that in there, bro. Now, if you imagine a white person being so fixated on race to this extent, what would you call that person? Would you say that person is racist? Comment below and let me know what you think about it, because you usually don't hear a white person talk about race this much without getting some type of negative connotation. But when it comes to black people like John Boyega, for some reason, they seem to get a pass on that one. I'm not sure why. It seems kind of like a double standard, but I don't know. I mean, that's just what it looks like. Like I said, comment below and let me know what you think about it. They're okay with us playing the best friend, but once we touch their heroes, once we lead, once we trailblaze, it's like, oh my God, it's just a bit too much. They're pandering, the actor added, while also acknowledging that being cast in the franchise was a fundamental moment in his career. Yeah, something that he unfortunately didn't seem to take advantage of, because I was looking at his IMDb page, and following Star Wars, he hasn't had a whole lot. Now, I'm not necessarily blaming him because he has done good in other projects, but he hasn't had a whole lot of leading roles in movies following that compared to other people who were in the Star Wars franchise with him. Oscar Isaac, for instance, Adam Driver, they had pretty solid careers after that as far as like some of the more younger, newer cast members in it. But John Boyega, Daisey Ridley, it really just hasn't seemed to work out for them. But that's also kind of par for the course when it comes to Star Wars. I mean, if you can recall the original movies, Harrison Ford is probably the only one who had the really prominent career following that, whereas Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill, they did stuff, but it wasn't nearly at the same level as what Harrison Ford did. Boyega first aired his grievances to GQ magazine in 2020 about Star Wars fumbling of diversity in his Star Wars trilogy. He said at the time, "What I would say to Disney to do, not bring out a black character and market them to be much more important in the franchise than they are, and then have them pushed to the side. It's not good. I'll say it straight up." And I agree with him on that one, but I don't think they were marketing him as a black person. They were just, to me, the thing that stood out with him the most from the Force Awakens and all the marketing was that he was a stormtrooper. The race aspect of it, I don't think was really relevant because by that time we were all used to seeing non-white people in the Star Wars franchise. I just like the idea that there was a stormtrooper who was going to be the next Jedi that the series is going to focus on, but evidently we didn't get that. You guys knew what to do with Daisey Ridley. You knew what to do with Adam Driver. Boyega continued. But when it came to Kelly Marie Tran, when it came to John Boyega, F all. So what do you want me to say? What they want you to say is, I enjoyed being a part of it. It was a great experience. Nah. I'll take that deal when it's a great experience. They gave all the nuance to Adam Driver, all the nuance to Daisey Ridley. Let's be honest, Daisy knows this. Adam knows this. Everybody knows. I'm not exposing anything. Kelly Marie Tran, the reason she kind of got pushed to the side because her character really didn't have a whole lot to do in the second movie, the one she first came in. In fact, his character in that movie also didn't really, it really did feel like in The Last Jedi, they were just kind of finding a way to stretch out the plot. And that's kind of what they were doing in that. And that's why a lot of people didn't care for the characters because they were just poorly written and just there to take up screen time. And that's pretty much it. And I think that's not something you can blame fans for and saying fans were calling for that. It was just, that's the way they decided to write the characters. And yes, Daisey Ridley and Adam Driver had a lot more nuance to their characters, but that's because they were the lead character and the lead antagonist of the series. So of course they're going to get a little bit more screen time and development. It's unfortunate for some of the side characters, but that's just how movies are made. Boyega later revealed to the Hollywood Reporter that a Disney executive reached out to him following his GQ interview. He said he had a very honest and very transparent conversation with the Disney executive and added, there was a lot of explaining on their end in terms of the way they saw things. They gave me a chance also to explain what my experience was like. I hope that me being so open with my career at this stage would help the next man, the guy that wants to be assistant DOP, the guy that wants to be a producer. I hope that the conversation is not such a taboo or elephant in the room now because someone just came and said it. I don't think people complain about race within Hollywood is a taboo subject. I think it's pretty prominent, and some people in essence have built their career off of basically just being race hustlers. But this really does scream that John Boyega was given a major opportunity for his career and nothing really transpired about it. Now, I'm not saying it's entirely on him because, as he said, and I can kind of agree with, he wasn't given a whole lot to do in his role. But I think if he really capitalized on what he actually got and was a little bit more grateful towards what he had at the time, then maybe he could have done something of it. But it could just be one of those situations where life isn't fair. You're given an opportunity, nothing happens, and then that's about it. As I already said, we saw that same thing with Daisey Ridley, and it happens all the time with white actors too. So it's not like it's a race thing or anything like that. It's just that's the way the industry works, and there's really nothing you can do about it. he can be bitter and just say it's because people are racist or whatever. And if that's how he wants to feel, then fine. But I mean, it's kind of doing a disservice to himself, and it's kind of undermining the talent that he actually has, because it's basically taking all the power away from yourself and just giving it to people that you think you have no control over. And well, yes, you actually don't have any control over what people do. All you can control is what you can actually do with the opportunities given to you. And if you're going to choose to just complain, well then, yeah, you probably aren't going to very, very successful if that's how you're going to capitalize on it. But if you're going to just try to take your destiny into your own hands and try to make something of it, even if you have the deck stacked against you, I think you're going to have a lot better outcomes in the end. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share this video out there, because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.